seats up front, or you can have a seat. So there's one more out there if you want to sit back, or just sit back wherever you'd like.
There yet? I don't think anybody can handle it. Probably close to mine. Take a picture on your phone. It's not joking. Last minute, because then you come back, so see that for you. Barely. It's time moves fast at 3:30. I come back.
I get these settings for regional quicker going up there. When it kicks in the smoke.
People like that. Really, really thick.
My feet are so nuts.
Kind of like a frog body meat in the package. They're really, really thin lunch meats. You space it out.
I can be sitting on the
And
table.
shave it thin, and then you lay it on.
I sit there and see
Chips.
It's
Such good protein. They're so good, and you don't really have to do anything when they already taste. I have a slicer. Yeah, you really have a slicer. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah, just so y'all know, if anyone needs the restroom, it's over here, okay?
Do you have any candy or anything? Because I ate that,
Oh,
Just about any meat.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't good, huh?
You tried the seaweed. Who else tried the seaweed? You tried the seaweed yet?
After we heard her, we thought, we'll wait.
Oh, I don't, I have water, there's water in there.
water,
I can
but
get you another water, you want me to get you another one?
no, I need something sweet.
I don't have any, I'm sorry.
Look at that.
There you go.
I have mints in my car. And cherry drops.
Yeah.
I don't do coffee, but I'll do coffee now.
So
Everybody,
seaweed.
That
This
was
is
a
like
test,
a
right?
well, not really.
I didn't think about it.
One, it's unique, right? Like, and two, seaweed has iodine in it, which is helpful for your thyroid. That's a good option. It's not a sweet treat, but we did the best we could on that one. Yeah. Okay.
I'll just take my iodine drops.
We're waiting on anybody else? How we doing?
do you, what time is it? Yeah,
No.
there's another person walking in
You guys
now,
ready?
and another one following in, so we do have a few more
Okay.
coming if you want.
So let's, we're jumping from. Anybody drive more than an hour today? No? Okay, half hour? About a half an hour, where are you from? Carlisle, okay. Dillsburg, okay. Carlisle, got it. Yeah. So pretty much neighborly. I didn't go very far. I was born at Old Easter Hospital. And I guess it's now UPMC or whatever it's now, but yeah. And when we was born, came back here, so I'm a local guy. Cool. So yeah, we had some people that come from, Philly area and Baltimore and all that, because I'm always curious to see where everybody likes to come from. So, so yeah, like Dillsburg and Carlisle, I'm guessing Mechanicsburg, Harrisburg, like our local family stuff. Okay, cool, great.
Oh my.
Say it again. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Where's?
England.
Oh, I was thinking England, and I'm like,
She wins the furthest prize.
exactly, yeah. There's
Yeah,
a
She wins the prize.
About 35 miles up the river.
okay.
11 to 15
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for being here. Yeah. Awesome. Looks like we got a front row seat for
Front
you.
row seat up there for you.
Yeah, we see the front row seat for you.
To the wood shop.
Welcome, Catherine. I like that purple. That's great.
I've never been to Barnes, but.
And you have the purple name tag to match it. Well, coordinated today. Awesome.
I forget my quote today. So they tell me about Barnes, but I've never been to her.
Well, you have to keep going down to where you get to Right. And go out there
To
to
her.
the red light and go out from here.
Yeah.
So I go there.
All
I don't even know.
All right.
I like to go.
So we got a couple minutes yet to work through. So what's travel plans or springtime plans, Easter plan? Like, give me something. What do you got? What do you like to do? Ocean City. Okay. Yeah. Is that like a regular place you go to?
I like to go to their spring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, gorgeous like this. It's must be pretty important. You guys are here on a gorgeous Tuesday like this. Man, oh man. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's everybody, and I love this. Like everybody's just, like on time, ready to roll, and get some new information today. Anybody else, Leslie?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Little early today.
For
Beautiful.
like 5 minutes, so.
Yeah. Okay. Have you had those before?
I have a very similar looking package in my car right now.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. What's on time? It's not been funny. Okay. So officially, I'm Dr. Tomasetti. Thanks for being here today, really. Briefly, my voice will get tight from time to time. Robert Kennedy Jr., whether you love him or hate him, we got the same vocal thing going on. And so if you need to repeat something, don't hesitate to ask. I want you to make sure you give me info that you need today. Is that fair? Awesome. These are the stories we get to be a part of, right? My body isn't inviting me back so I can do the things I love to do. That's what I like to do. Yeah. So let me show you about this here, how that works. We're gonna go through the 3 secrets that allow this to happen. And so I can give you some like writer-downers and probably take your, is it okay if I offer a different healthcare paradigm and kind of shake yours upside down a little bit and twist it around backwards? Give you some new lenses to look through. Would that be
Have it so good. What if it's already been turned that way?
You know what? That'd be awesome.
I turned it up.
Yeah, beautiful.
You can
So-
turn it again. Yeah, I'm not.
I have your permission to flip it upside down again? Beautiful. Let's see. Let's see what that happens. So, my family is when I'm not here. That's what you need to be busy. We got 6 kiddos and my amazing wife.
6 kids?
And yeah, that's
I'm a father of 6 too.
okay. Welcome, right? Yeah, thankfully it's not a competition. But yeah. Good. So my goal today is this. And it's a bold one. Right? I'm going to show you natural ways of getting improvement with your thyroid, 50 to 100% improvement, even where other systems have failed. Okay? Who's thinking, yeah, right? Being honest, be real for a minute. Who's thinking, yeah, right? Baloney. I see you, Mike. Arms across. Yeah, I got you, buddy. All right. Yeah. And I was skeptical too. Okay, so just hang in there with me. You're going to see why. And we're going to show you in real time. One of you will have an opportunity today to get a complimentary treatment. Okay, and to see what this is really like. And then hear from this, whoever I've gone, we've never met anybody here before yet, right? So, like, what does this look like? What happens in real time when we follow this system? Okay? So here we go. 20 million people are dealing with thyroid problems in the US alone. Okay? Most are ladies, and there's a much higher incidence 5 to 8 times more likely if you're a woman to have thyroid problems, but it doesn't exclude guys, that's for sure. Okay, and it causes all kinds of problems, right? Tiredness, fatigue, like you're getting to go, got it went, and you still have to slog through the rest of the day, right? Who's been there? Yeah, and it just kind of wears you down. Like on the really dark days, just you're going, do I have another breath in? Yeah. So I understand what this is like. I've been through my own thyroid story. I'll share some of that in a minute too. But it sucks when you're there, right? Yeah. So what are the traditional treatment options that they've offered you? Who? Let me take a step back. Who actually is here for like a family member or supporting somebody? Awesome, Sharon. Thank you. And then
Close friend.
Kenan.
Yes.
Kenan, close friend. Okay, awesome. Thank you for being here. And then who actually has like a thyroid diagnosis and who goes, I need some new information, new help, and awesome. Okay, that's me kind of gear where we're going today. So for those of you that have had a diagnosis, what are the traditional options? What are they giving you for treatment? Levothyroxine, yeah, right. Thyroid.
I had
Remove it.
thyroidectomy.
Removal.
Take it out.
Melanie, I'm sorry we didn't get this information to you sooner.
Yeah.
You got all those?
And if you had it removed, there's still some hope and support. Okay? Obviously, we can't help everybody. I'm not going to blow smoke and say we can fix it all, but you're going to see the reasons why we can still make improvement in a lot of those cases, even though the actual gland is gone. But you're not wrong, right? So Thyroid and removal, like, man. Other options? Anybody else have other support they've gotten or other help?
Yeah, fix it.
Yeah, really
Take
fix
it
it.
out, fix it.
Yeah, fix it. I'm going to show you that.
Tell you what helps me, the foot detox pads.
Foot detox pads.
Honestly, they work.
Awesome.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, you're going to see why that helps in a little minute. Yeah. We've like the advanced version over here.
I have an Ionized Me Max 5.
Okay. So this guy's playing with some other technology. That's cool.
What's that?
It's
Yeah.
a detox machine.
Yeah.
It's a high-end
Good
one.
detox.
All right.
I've known several on the armor.
They're great.
Armor. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So
Armor
armor.
don't give it to you.
Right. And goodness, 20 years ago anyway, Armor was bought out by somebody else and like something changed. It doesn't work quite as well as it used to, but that is an option and it's an actual whole glandular, right? So it's the gland of the, usually get it from either pigs or cows. And then that has all the hormone in the gland. And then, so that's another option that is out there, but it's typically not a traditional option. So here's the thing, besides, I can't remember what number one is right now for medical malpractice, but here's the main one for a medical doctor. If they are seeing lab numbers that are normal and you still have symptoms, they cannot prescribe hormone. They'll lose their license.
Well, they only check 2 of the 12.
And they only check 2 of the 12. So Pam's already in the know here. Pam's already in the know. There's way more information on TSH. We're not going to go into this super deep rabbit hole on the science, but just it's limited options, right, that you've been given. So traditionally it's prescription meds, radiation, and then surgery. Like that's the pathway if you got a thyroid disease. Okay? Hasn't changed since the 70s. Now thankfully they discovered Thyroid, the artificial hormone, so you can get some support, but it's not fixing anything in your body. It's just allowing some options to keep running. And if you're missing the gland, then you need that, right? That's thankfully it's there, or you wouldn't be living. Okay, so there's benefit to that, but it doesn't actually solve any problems in the big scheme. Bottom line is it's symptom management, right? And you're probably here because you're tired of symptom management. You want to actually, like Pam said, let's fix it, right? So let's talk about that. But here's what you see all day long. Drained, unable to sustain your busy schedule. Anybody been there? Yeah. And mood swings, irritability, right? Things switch on a dime. Feeling overwhelmed. And then it's hard to get out of that overwhelm, right? And that digs a deeper hole. Brain fog. Yeah.
That's just because I'm old.
right? So no, it's not because you're old. Okay, now, to be fair, the brain does degenerate like everything else does, but there's plenty of people that are your same age, Pam, right? That are maybe the nuts a little tighter in there. Yeah. Or, whatever analogy when you use, the tool's a little sharper. So
Firing
it's
a little
not,
better.
yeah, right? So, but here's the thing, too. If thyroid's not functioning right, that definitely is a mental regulator for how quickly things can fire in the brain. Okay, so that's a big one. And then, when you're feeling like that, you stop showing up, right? And who's the first person you stop showing up for?
Yourself.
Yeah, right? And then, because everybody else is going to get help before you do. And that only lasts so long. What do they tell you on the airplane? What do you got to put on first? Yeah, right? So they can help everybody else around you. I got 6 kids. I get it. There's sacrifices you make for your loved ones.
Women in particular.
Yeah, like that's our cultural, it's built. There's so many other facets to that. And yet, if you want to keep playing at that level, you need additional help and support. We're going to show you what that looks like. Get you out of stop living to really being vital again. Like, can you even imagine that? Some of you have gotten beyond the point of going, is that even possible for me anymore? And hopefully we can show you some options for what could be different. Okay? So, there has to be a better way than just meds, radiation, and surgery. What do we do?
None of the above.
Yeah, none of the above. Anybody else learn the school of hard knocks, learn the hard way? Yeah. So let me share that story with you. Back to my family, 6 out of the 8 of us have thyroid challenges. Okay? My wife's actually, her family, she has some genetic predisposition for this. Her dad, my father-in-law, actually has Hashimoto's autoimmune. Pretty rare for guys to get that. But that's part of, so she's been aware of this a long time in her story. Add to that, she was a swimmer in college. Guess what chlorine does to your thyroid gland? Yeah. So she's got these other chemical elements that were part of her story that actually complicated it as well. Right? So these are things that we had to live through the hard way and figure things out along the way. My kids then got some of the same genetics, right? And we got to help support them. And our youngest with Down syndrome, that's a known problem within that community. And so we really had to dig through this on a personal level. And then my sister, and that's really what got me started into this too, because my sister, she's 8 years younger than I am. And she developed autoimmune thyroid at a pretty young age. And I would see her eyes start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, at this point, I didn't know anything about what I now know. But she had to go through multiple surgeries to change, because they had to extend her eyelids so it would cover her eyes and all this facial stuff. Miserable to see your family go through this, right? And again, what do they have? Medication. That's about it. So we've lived through this firsthand. And I've seen the ups and downs and the moons and the swings and literally feeling like I don't want to live anymore. And so I can appreciate where that can go. And so through all that, we had to figure things out. So I've been around the country studying with some of the best of the best. And it's not about me, but it's about the systems that we've learned to be able to implement and put in place and go, okay, if we follow this process, we get miracles. And you're going to see what that is here in a moment. So that's a bit about me. Now, here is the concept I want you guys to grab so that it's going to take your help paradigm and flip it upside down. Are you ready? Everybody's trying to get physiology to work, right? That's the tip of your iceberg. That's your lab values, your hormones. That's what most people are looking at. And it's not wrong to look there, but that's just the top. Well, then how do you change that? Well, let's do chemistry. Let's throw some Thyroid in there, right? Or you're using Armor or some other vitamins or diet or those kind of things. Does that make sense? So the chemistry makes your physiology run right or wrong. Okay? And then what controls the chemistry? It's on the screen.
Electricity.
The physics. right? And so like you know, and again, to demystify physics, it's not that classic we all failed in high school. It's literally light energy that we get from the sunshine, as an example, right? So when the sun hits our skin, we turn into vitamin what? Vitamin D is becoming common knowledge now, right? Like vitamin D is good. You need the sunlight. A little less sunscreen. Choose the time of day you go outside and get burned. Like all these different kind of things because we need that light. And the light changes how our brain works for sleep and all of those things, right? Blue light blockers for computer, like all that stuff is now, you know, it's out there. Does it make sense? So that's what we're talking about. Physics is light is one option. The other one then is electricity. Our nervous system is what?
We're basically a giant battery.
We're a giant battery, is right. Yeah. So our brain and nervous system run electrically. And so part of that, and the way you make energy is with electricity, with electrons. You'll see that in a moment. And then magnets is Earth's magnetic field, right? The full moon, right? The tide pool, like all that kind of stuff influences how our body works. And that's one of the reasons we feel amazing typically when you're at the ocean. Because you're getting waves crashing, you're getting ions in the air, you're getting sunshine, your feet are in the ground, right? So like all these natural elements that actually literally charge up your body. Okay? So if you get the physics wrong, and this is the thing, your blood work might look great, but you still feel like junk. What does that tell us? The physics are off. Or the blood work looks perfect, and then they drop of a heart attack or something like that. What does that tell us? The physics are off, right? Or the blood work is terrible, and they feel amazing. Physics are great, chemistry's off. Is it making sense? So we got to look like where are we at in this idea, right? And so medication is only playing on the chemistry level. They're missing the physics.
I've often termed it, they're using Newtonian physics to the exclusion of quantum physics.
Well put. That's like advanced class stuff. Yeah, that's great though. That's absolutely, yeah, that's not wrong. So briefly, here's why electrons are important. Electricity is important. So the big picture I want you to take away, and this is as deep as we're going in science today. The way you make energy, okay, the energy molecule you use to do any work, any healing whatsoever is called ATP. Okay, remember that from biology class in school maybe. But for example, it takes 3 ATP to contract. It takes another 2 to relax. So even relaxation and healing requires energy. Does that make sense? So you use a ton of ATP every day. Okay, that's your energy money. That's your energy currency. If you run out of ATP, you're done. You're bankrupt. Make sense? So the best way to do that is you spend $1 oxygen dollar and you get 34 energy dollars back. Who likes that exchange? All day long, right? Now, when that system breaks down and there's different holes in the buckets, in other words, stress is a big one. You'll see that the kind of that gets into our secrets as to how this operates, but the big picture is this. If you're running here, you got all the energy you need and then some, and you can heal your own body and support other people. When that breaks down for various reasons, now you're burning sugar instead of oxygen and you get 2 energy molecules. See the big difference here? So write this one down. This is the big concept is energy debt. Okay? It creates an energy debt. So now, let's pretend we're a thyroid gland. And let's say and the other part to know is that from the magnetic side, everything is battery. Right? So you have this charge, like literally the trillions of cells in your body, or actually every one is a battery. Okay, they are actually charged. Okay, so if you're running at 100%, 80 to 100%, you can fix whatever problem's going on. You got enough energy to fix that stuff. Does that make sense? Okay, when that starts to break down, you lose energy. That's called, there's no test on this, but it's called heteroplasmy for those that want to look this up. That allows for mutations. In other words, your body's making new cells, right? And then as it makes new cells, if your quality control goes downhill, what happens?
Your battery drains.
Well, the battery drains, which allows the quality control to go downhill. Great thought, though. Does that make sense? Your battery drains, quality control goes downhill, and you have to make room for mutations. Okay, so the new cells you're pumping out are not as optimally functional. You with me? So then, if it drops a little lower, but at this stage, what you need to understand is that's when cells start to enlarge, or actually you grow more cells. So we call that enlarged thyroid. We call that, if it's a liver, fatty liver disease. If it's a spleen, it's called splenomegaly. If it's your heart, it's cardiomegaly, right? So in other words, the organs get bigger. Have you heard of some of these things before? So that's what the stage one is. You develop more cells. Why? Energy debt. Okay, if you have one cell making 34, and you still need to make 34 to make the machine run, and you're making 2 instead, how many more cells do you need to make up the difference in energy? Right? You're going to need to double that thing. Yeah, 16, 17 cells to double your, right? So now, instead of one cell, you start making more cells. Is that making sense? So you enlarge the tissue, you enlarge the gland. But that can only happen so long as that battery drains even more. Now you've hired all these new workers, they're trying to make energy for you, but they're inefficient. The batteries are draining. Now they're costing you more than they're actually giving you. So what do?
I fast for 24 hours and put my body in out of the laundry.
Again, so that is going to be in the, so Pam's, again, she's got some great advanced concepts here. But that's all that's doing is stopping the drain on the battery. Yeah. So great, but that's amazing. It's a useful tool. You have to see where it fits in the bigger puzzle.
Right.
But so when you've got enlarged cells, now it's like, well, let's kill them off. They're not actually helping us. That's called autoimmune disease. And that's when you get into apoptosis or cell death. Are you tracking? Who's tracking with me? Okay? So, big picture, you can fix everything. You make room for mutations, but you got to make a whole lot more cells to make the energy. Then that's not working anymore. You got to kill those things off. That's autoimmune disease. And here's a big question. Slightly off topic, but you're going to see how this fits. Has anybody ever heard of anybody getting heart cancer? Why not? Why doesn't anybody get heart cancer?
Well, it gives the most oxygen.
Right? Your heart's constantly making energy, isn't it? Using oxygen all the time.
Probably holds a lot of the energy you're making as well.
Exactly. So it does so many things. There's 7 different electromagnetic fields. Like the magnetism of the heart is powerful. So heart's a big one. So if your heart energy, like literally the battery in the heart drops below 40%, what do you think is going to happen?
Strokes.
Yeah, well, maybe more than that. Yes, some kind of heart event.
Yeah.
Right? Like your heart's done.
Absolutely.
The heart's going to fail before it can even get to the point of developing cancer. I saw some light bulbs go off. Right? So if the tissue battery drains too much, but here's the thing. What's going to kill you quicker? Liver failure or liver cancer?
Liver failure.
Liver failure. What's going to kill you quicker? Heart failure? Right? Or heart, you never get to heart cancer. Does it make sense? Kidney failure, kidney cancer. See, cancer is buying you more time to make more energy, not trying to kill you.
Give you time to fix it.
Does that make sense? So when you understand the physics concept and you can charge the battery, there's literally no cell on the planet that can develop cancer if it's charged up enough. If the cellular charge is high enough, you can't create cancer in that. It's not cancering. Cancer is a verb. It's not something you get. It's a process that happens when your body when that battery drains in that system. Is that fair? So this is the lens that we think through. Okay, now, with all that being said, when we start to apply these principles and get the battery back on and get the body charged back up and start removing all the barriers to healing, we see things like this with Laura. She's going to get into some numbers. So this is for you that know the lab numbers. She's going to start mentioning numbers. Big picture, pay attention to like the last sentence or two. That's like how, but if that overwhelms you with numbers, but it's about 2 minutes long here.
So Laura, tell us why you're so excited and happy.
I'm so excited. I have to tell all of you that I have been working on my thyroid for years, and I might cry. I have Hashimoto's, and I have had low thyroid. It's run in my family, and I've eliminated foods, everything from my diet. I've worked so hard, and I feel like it's been a long time trying to get my thyroid working again, and I've been working this last, since February, using, Thyroid and X4 and prep phase and doing all the things that Doc T has told me to do. And I had my TPO at one time was over 1,000, and the last time we did it here, it was 197. And my TSH was through the roof. It was 40 last time. That's ridiculously high. This paper made me cry because it says that my test that I did this week says that my thyroid antibodies are at 119, which is still high, but they're down 78 points. And my TSH is
15, right?
16.780, whatever, from 40. And that, for me, is like a miracle. And so I am doing a happy dance on the inside and on the outside because I am so excited. So whoever you are that needs some encouragement, stay the course. We're all going to get there.
Yes, we are.
Thanks to great people like Doc T, and just trust in God's faithfulness. So that's it.
Thank you so much for sharing, Laura.
It's my pleasure. Bye.
So one thing to understand about the TSH is logarithmic. So if a 1 was 1 hormone, a 2 would be 10 hormones. A 3 would be 100 hormones. A 4 would be 1,000 hormones. Are you with me? So 40 is like crazy high. Down to 16 makes a giant impact on your energy.
Wow.
Now, what's she at with that? No, but her autoimmune count from 1,000 down to low hundreds. Like major changes in the healing are happening in her system. Does that give you a little bit of context for what that actually means? And then Nancy is she's been around a little longer than this now, but she's a
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
Nancy.
Nancy. I came here, I think, a couple of months ago because I'm aged and I was wanting to make sure that I could make the best out of how I aged and going into elderly status. I was admittedly 90% skeptical. I didn't know that, in fact, whether this would work, but had high recommendations of it, so I thought I'd try it. Now, just after a couple of months, I am a 90% fan. I feel better, I'm sleeping better, I'm less stiff. I just am really optimistic and hopeful about how my health is going to go. I found out I had much poorer health than I thought I did after the testing. And so I'm very much encouraged to find out what the results of the re-eval are in a couple of months. But so far, it's really been fantastic. Even the diet that was very, very difficult, the food plan is what I'll call it. In the first week, I'm really used to it and see the merits of it already. I feel absolutely better.
So there's a couple people that share like stories of when they were in the chair where you were not long ago, and they're actually getting traction and they're healing and actually making changes besides the standard stuff. So part of my job is to give you a little excitement, a little encouragement in that today, if that's all right. So hopefully that gives you a little snapshot. So understanding root cause is going to be critical. right? And then I want to show you actually the experience of our three-pronged approach of how this gets better. Get a little hope back for your own healing, and then go over what next steps could look like. Does that sound good?
Yes.
That's where we're going. So, root cause and secret number one is going to be stress. Okay? This is one thing that is highly overlooked and is massively up in our world, especially since COVID, right? But here's the thing I want you to notice. All these different spots are where thyroid can actually break down in your body. It's not just a one-stop shop. It starts in the brain and then moves down to the thyroid, and then the thyroid is supposed to distribute the hormone to every cell in your body, and it gets converted primarily in the liver and in the guts. Okay, so if you have a blockage anywhere in those systems, guess what happens? Anybody? Wild guess. What happens if there's a breakdown? Yeah, thyroid problems. Like, this is great. Yeah. So what I want you to notice is you cannot be in a state of healing and crisis at the same time. Does that make sense? So briefly then, here's all those spots, these little red circles popping in, where stress and trauma will break down your thyroid. There's like 5 or 6 different spots here. Okay? So it can mess up the brain. It can mess up the liver function. It can mess up the GI. Like all these systems get affected when there's stress. And you know this, right? When you're stressed out, you're like, oh, I don't feel like eating today. Or you overeat the comfort foods, right? And then what? Then you feel more bloated and things like right. And usually with thyroid, there's constipation. And that gets a little worse. Who's been there? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So does that make sense? The stress is a big deal. Here's what happens briefly in the brain. We do this. This is ideal. We're socially engaged. We're out having fun. We're, laughing, playing, singing, all that kind of stuff. Curious, compassionate, and all that's going well. And then a little stressor comes along, and it's like those the little prairie dogs, right? They pop their head up, look around. You see that? So we have the same reflex. We're like, okay, what was that? Not alarm. Let's go back to playing. Right? That's just up and down normal thing. If it gets too much, we get into frustration, irritation, anger, right? A little too irritated, a little too ramped up. And then that goes into panic attacks, fear. Anybody been there before? You don't have to raise your hands, but I see you. I know. And then we get into, that's either we're going to fight the problem or we're going to run away from it. And then when you get overwhelmed even more, you get into, I can't. Right? I just can't anymore. Depression, numbness, dissociation, shame. I'm the problem, right? Like not, I made a mistake, it's I'm the mistake. That belief that kicks in. Shut down, hopelessness, despair, feeling trapped. You've been there. Yeah. And those are really dark places. So that's nerve system, brain-based stuff. And no one's addressing this. And if they are, they're throwing what? Medication at it. Here's your antidepressant. Who's tired of that? There's a way better way.
That's all they know.
That's all they know. I'm going to show you some super powerful things right now that I've literally spent well over 6 figures learning and figuring out. And I want to give that to you guys today. Is that okay? Yeah. So, this is in your handout. If it's not, we'll get you the digital copy. But I want to walk you through this. This is really, really powerful. All of us have been through some kind of stressful scenario or event. I want you to think through something, and you can find it later. Just kind of hang out here, watch what's going on. This will be easier. I'm going to show you, and you can have the resource at home to walk you through. Okay. So, I want you to think of a stressful event in your life that's maybe not more than a 7 out of 10. I don't want you freaking out in here right now. Is that fair? Okay. But something that's like, mild to moderate in stress level. Everybody have an experience like that? Okay. And I want you to kind of notice when you think about that subject or whatever happened and how your body feels. And what you're going to do then is there are buttons on the thumb side of the wrist. There are 3 of them. Actually, there's 4, but I'm going to show you 3. They're right below the wrist crease on the thumb side. Okay? And so it's easier if you put one hand down and the other one on top of that, and you're just going to fold those fingers over the thumb side of the wrist. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yep, you got excellent. Yeah, we're going to go underneath that. So you can use this fingers on this wrist. Yeah, so these are going to go right here. Yeah, move your thumb out of the way. There you go, right on the wrist. Perfect. We're going this side here, move the thumb. You're going to use your fingertips on the other hand. Right, yeah, there you go. Awesome. Yep, yep. Right in through here. Beautiful. Yeah, we got it. Yep. You'll be right in through here. Watch it be slightly in the way, but that's okay. You'll get on both sides. Yep. Awesome. So that's a simple hookup. Okay. I like going this way because that way your hand doesn't bump in the face. Because the next step is putting your hand on your forehead. Okay. So if you need to do it this way, okay, just watch. Smack your nose or something. But that's easier. And I want you to just put your hand on the forehead. Why? Because when we're choking, what do we do? Universal, right? When we're stressed out, what do we do? Oh my God. Right? So this is the stress reflex for the brain. So you're going to link up the buttons on the wrist. You're going to feel the feelings of whatever that event or whatever that process was for you. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. You got that in your mind first? Then I want you to feel that. We're going to take a minute or 2 here and actually treat it. Give yourself permission to feel that. Breathing in through the nose. Out through the mouth. And usually a minute or 2 later, you just feel something's a little different, something shifted. And you're going to trade hands and do the other side the same way. Trade hands to the other wrist, fingers on the thumb side, and you treat the other wrist. And really letting yourself feel the emotions and the feelings that went along with that event or that situation. And then when it's less intense, you can rest your hands down.
I usually stick my head in the freezer.
Yeah.
I get that hot, I stick my head in the freezer.
Yeah, stick that in the freezer. Sure. Again, what's he trying to do? He's trying to regulate, right? And change the physiology there. But this is guaranteed, like this literally is proven with pre and post brain MRIs that it actually changes your physiology from here back down to the green. Who thinks that's a good idea? Yeah. Brief story on this one. We were driving wherever, it was a daddy daycare thing going on, so I'm driving. My kids are in the back of the seat doing kid stuff. And I was about to blow a gasket. I'm going to drive us off the next click we come to. One of those moments. Yeah. And so thankfully I still had enough brain to go, you know what, I'm going to pull over for a second. And I treated it. And I prayed. I treated the other side. It's like, oh, I don't even know what all that was about. Right? But now my physiology is back to normal and I can just interact as a dad again and not be over the top. So this is no joke. This works. The guy that did they thought it was a sham treatment. Oh, they're like, this is fake. This doesn't do a thing. He got the best results in the whole study. Okay, so it's not a placebo thing. This literally changes your neurophysiology. Okay, and millions and millions and millions of dollars went into the study. So I'm like, use this. Please use this. Who's going to use it? Okay, good. I'm going to knock on your door if you're not. I'm joking. But seriously, that'd be too stressful. That would stress you out. So. Does that make sense? So if we calm the stressed brain down, right? Your brain is getting disrupted by stress here and here and here and here. You start to regulate that on your own at home. Who thinks that's a better idea than taking drugs? Okay, so hopefully we're giving you some of the value, like massive value today already. But that's a big one. If we can change the stress response, and we've got other techniques that we can do in-house and show you how to do that are even more laser focused and pointed and like amazingly, they just fix the emotional brain. So we've got a lot of tools to help regulate that. Another one here is heart focus, which is essentially a gratitude kind of practice. There's several of them out there, but this one adds some other biofeedback where you're literally feeling the heart. And you picture a moment when you just felt full of love and gratitude. And we got a memory like that for me. I think when my bride was coming down the aisle, like that's bringing me like so much joy, right? And I picture her and I just feel that love and appreciation and fill my entire body with that feeling. And so I'm literally flooding with gratefulness, the kind that makes you want to tear up. That's what you want to go for. Okay, and you feel that from your heart. And you picture your heart pumping that gratitude through your entire body. Okay, super simple. You can do it at a red light. Once you practice a couple times, you sit there and you go, oh man, yeah, there it is. And literally that changes your chemistry, physiology, and neurology. Okay, so these are super powerful techniques, pretty simple to do. Yeah, and so those are yours just as a gift today. So make sure we can help you start healing even today. All right, so use those. When we start doing this kind of stuff, we get stories like Heidi. She transformed her life. Got a lot of natural relief from overwhelming stress and anxiety. She wouldn't mind me saying, as a follow-up, she had a car wreck not too long ago and was scared to get behind the wheel again. Right? And so after a while, I was like, oh, that kind of wears off. You get used to it and you go back to your business. Well, for her, it didn't. And so we would literally treat her. I treated her in the parking lot yesterday. She got into her car and she just got back from the shop. And she, and we reset the stress physiology. And we had a follow-up yesterday. She's like, it's perfectly fine, doc. It's like I'm fine behind the wheel. No problems whatsoever. So this resets the brain big time. So I mentioned accidents because trauma is one of the things that can affect your thyroid. You're like your thyroid's in the neck, you get some whiplash, maybe there's some damage there.
Mental and physical?
Yeah, exactly. So it could be the stress from the accident, it could also be the physical, mechanical trauma to the organ or the gland. Yeah, so that's a factor too. So yeah, when we start reducing stress, your life changes. Who could do with a little bit less stress on their body, right? Like, yeah. Number two, then is inflammation. Who's heard that inflammation is bad, right? Like chronic inflammation is the scourge of the world, and we need to get rid of it yesterday. So inflammation in general is not bad. If you sprain an ankle, you want inflammation. You want it for a little while, splint the joint, then it goes away, heals up, and you go back to your normal activities. If it stays chronic, it's like a sunburn on the inside. Okay? And that can be a big, big problem. What triggers inflammation? Number one, prolonged chronic stress. The big one. Two, pathogens. We are number one in the world for what disease? What pathogen in this area? Lyme disease, tick-borne. We're like number one in the world. Even more than Connecticut. Lyme, Connecticut was discovered. Yeah, we have more cases in this area than anywhere else. Processed foods and bad fats. Right? So all your junk food basically would fit in this category. Chemicals and medications can create inflammation.
And pathogens, do you include parasites?
Oh yeah, yeah, viruses, parasites, bacteria, yeah, funguses and molds and other big problems. Absolutely. Yep. Heavy metals. So follow me on this one. We got mercury over here, and it's poisonous. And OSHA says you need 1 million regulations to deal with that safely. And then you put it in somebody's mouth, it's fine. And then they take it out and change your filling, and now that when it's out, now they have to regulate with OSHA again on these things like safety protocols to deal with mercury again. That's all I'm going to say on that. But your dental issues may be partly the reason why you got some thyroid problems. Mercury will destroy your thyroid. Okay, so that's one example of how chemicals can interfere with that, and metals will mess with your thyroid. That also would go with brain fog and all these other things. And then chronic dehydration, you want half your body weight in ounces of water as a general rule of thumb. And ideally, you're not drinking tap because it still has fluoride in it.
And chloramine.
And chlorine and fluoride in it, right? And so those are mimics, they're cousins of iodine, which your body needs. The T3, T4 is the numbers on those hormones are actually iodine. So it says T3 iodine, T4 iodine is what that means. So if you don't have enough iodine, that can be a problem for your thyroid, and you add these other chemicals that look like it, and now you're making Franken molecules, and your thyroid has your body has no concept of it different. It's doing the best it can with the resources it has. Make sense? So you start making these toxic look-alike, and here's the other problem with your TSH. It'll look normal, but it can also be Franken molecules that are related to that as well. Does that make sense? So in other words, it's not measuring, is it a chlorine look-alike? It's only measuring the total. Are you with me? So it's not looking at what's making up this thing. Is it the real deal? It's like, you know those, the bugs, the VW bugs, right? And then you can put that look-alike bug on another car. And so it looks like the same thing, but it's a completely different car inside. It's the same idea with that hormone, with that molecule. So you can make a completely different car. It's not the real thing. Are you with me on that? Does it make sense? A little more analogy on that one. So bottom line, great spring water is really helpful. And at the very least, you probably want to consider a filter on your tap and on your bathing water, right? Because of the steam and all that you're breathing in, and you absorb all kinds of stuff through your skin. So you need to be considering that. Makeup. I'm not going to get into makeup. I think there was a study that did with lipstick. Over 25% of them had lead in it. So you really need to consider these things if you want long-term support on the thyroid. Now, all these things are drains on the battery. Okay. Now, if your physics is good, that's less of an issue. You can deal with this stuff. But if you don't have enough energy, then all those things drain the battery quicker. Is that fair? So you got to keep that in mind. All right, so that's number 2. Same picture. Here's where toxins and inflammation will mess up your thyroid. Right there, right there, right there, right there. At least 5 different places where that will mess up your thyroid. Inflammation will wreck it. Make sense? So scourge number 1, stress. Okay, secret number 2 is getting rid of inflammation. And when we do that, we start removing the toxins. We get things like Isabel. She's a wonderful French lady. Really cool accent. And she came in on her paperwork. She's like, if I don't make a change, and 1 to 3 years from now, I'm going to be dead. That's where I'm at. And so, severe type 2 diabetes, thyroid was non-existent. We had her change lifestyle, got her anti-inflammatory food plan, started getting the physics back with light energy. Okay, and with the detox foot baths, that's the main reason is it actually adds the more on the physics side of it than it does the
What does those foot detox pads? What are they pulling out?
Yeah, the pads is a different kind of thing. It's going to absorb through the pores of the skin and pull out some kind of toxin or poison.
Can you help me? I mean, I get so hot to sweat those wings off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put those. I can put them on at night.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, within 20 minutes, I'm feeling better.
Cool.
And they're really black when I take
So then that would suggest there's some kind of toxin or whatever in the system. When you're pulling that out, it takes some stress off that battery, and you're feeling better. Yeah. So what exactly that's pulling out? It's not specific, but it would reduce the load on that. Does that make sense?
I know it makes you feel
Yeah. It's hey, So that could be an option for support, but it's not correcting the underlying what's causing that issue. Hey, welcome. Thank you. Restroom right here. Yeah. So I'm at the top of the world, flying on a cloud, no matter what are the circumstances. I'm feeling at my best in my body at age 53. And a year ago, I was told that I was very sick. And that's putting it mildly. Actually, one day she came in and she said, Doc, I got a bill for you. something very serious has happened, and I'm giving you the bill. I'm like, what is going on here? Because you were doing so well. What happened? She's like, none of my clothes fit anymore. I need an entire new wardrobe. I've lost 70 pounds. And so we had a good chuckle about it. This whole French sense of humor I wasn't quite ready for. And but so we had a good time with that. But yeah, this is 70 pounds lighter than where she was. So number 3 then is healing at the speed of light. Okay, we're going to show you how we apply the physics. And when we start using the process of what the body actually works through to heal, we see miracles right in front of our eyes. Okay? And so I want to give somebody an opportunity for that today. So with that in mind, who's been diagnosed with thyroid that one would like to get a little better today? Okay, 3 of you. Okay, so
3.
Seriously, hands up high. Okay.
Yeah, we all want it.
Okay, good. So then, keep your hands up for me. Who has had thyroid issues more than 10 years? So, wow, most of you. Oh my gosh. All right, more than 20 years. 4 of you more than 20 years. Wow. All right. Man, oh man. I wish we could treat everybody today. We just, for the sake of time, we don't. Bonnie, you're the closest to the front. I'm going to pick you. Is that all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay, come on.
I think.
Nothing's going to hurt.
Okay.
That's everybody wants to know. Nothing's going to hurt. We're going to do some screenings and show you what's going on and how we kind of assess this besides your basic labs. And when we do that as well, we go into detail on labs if we need to. But what we're going to see is several things here. We're going to check range of motion. We're going to check the teres minor muscle, specifically because that relates to your thyroid function. We're going to check ATP production. Remember, that one's how you make energy. And we're going to check for maybe some thyroid congestion, tenderness, and then the thyroid works with other parts of the body. Remember I said brain and liver, and right? So we're going to see of those other systems what else is needing support. So we mentioned the thyroid muscle and the teres minor. I can say this because my dad drove truck for my whole life. Do you ever see the guys who walk around, their hands are like this? Right? The truck driver got the full belly and the butt, and right, they're doing this thing. That means their teres minor doesn't work. Because the teres minor rotates the hand out. And so if it's failing and this thyroid's tired, you're going to see the hand turn this way. If you see people walking around like this, classic for thyroid. So if you're a people watcher, you've got people watchers? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You'll notice that. When they're oh, thyroid problem, you'll see their thumbs, like their hands are turning backwards or the hands are flat. Okay? There's one thing to observe. So, Bonnie, you ready?
Yes.
Awesome. Come on over here for me.
Okay.
So give me a little, so let's do this. Scale of 1 to 10. 10 is I've got all the energy I need and then some. And 0 is like literally put me in bed right now and cover me, like tuck me in because I'm done. Where are you at?
That's where I am.
You're like literally at a 0. Want to close your eyes and go to sleep right now. So maybe a 1 because she's still vertical. So we can't give her a 0, but you're feeling like you're done.
Yes.
Anybody else feeling around that same level? You're like, yeah. So hang in there. So that's just to give us a little bit of a subjective on where she's feeling. We're going to check range of motion, that teres minor. So I'm going to turn this way for me. Let the shoulder relax. It's a rotator cuff muscle. We're going to check the shoulder then. Let this relax completely. Okay. And she kind of creaks right there, but it sort of jams up. But she can move it further. Is she wincing yet? Let me do what work. Let me do the work here. Let me do the work. Let it drop. Let it drop. Yeah, she's trying to help me. It's like, you're already at a 0. Just let it go. Let that relax here. Yeah. Yeah, so the joint jams up right there. Now she could contract it and go further. Let this relax for me here. Let's check this side too. That one moves fine. See the difference side to side?
So my range of motion is in my neck. That's where I'm having problems.
Sure.
You know, once I
Yeah.
have the thyroid out,
Yeah.
then my neck, I mean, that's
Absolutely.
where my problem is.
So scar tissue is a whole other ball of wax that can affect that too. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big deal when they take that out. For scar tissue and movement and all those things, yeah. So we see right one's decent, left one's got some restriction. Let's check the teres minor. Then the elbow for me here, both sides. And you bring the wrist out like this, keep your elbow there. I'm gonna push it in towards your middle. So you're gonna look like this, Bonnie. Yeah, there you go. I usually do this from the front, but then you can't see, so I'm gonna check from behind here. I'm gonna push towards your middle, don't let me push in. So if her thyroid's working great, there's no way I should be able to move that. Okay? Pull those outside of my hand. Try again, push out hard.
Push out.
Yeah, like that. And so like there's nobody home on that. Right?
Who's strong for it?
So it would seem that way, right?
Yeah.
Let's try it double. Bring both arms up this way here. Bend your elbows for me. I'm gonna push down, don't let me push down.
Okay.
Okay, so again, same kind of posture, but that one is fine. That one resists okay. You notice that?
Yeah.
And so a completely different muscle, we're checking that one is failing, which makes sense. You got zero energy and she's got thyroid workshop, right? So it's a pretty good bet that one might be weak. Now we're gonna look for ATP. So remember, when you're using muscle contractions, you need a lot of energy. Ideally, you should be able to do 100 contractions before the muscle fatigues. At least 100. That'd be kind of like your baseline. Okay? So we're going to see how many she can do. I'm going to use a different shoulder muscle that's not the weak one. Okay, hold that up strong for me here. Yeah, push up. Yeah, so that's her main rotator cuff muscle, the supraspinatus. I'm going to turn the muscle off one time to make sure it's neurologically working. Push up in my hand. And then push up again. So that we shut it off one time, the muscle inhibited, turn back on. That's totally normal function in the muscle. Okay? Now we're going to see how many contractions she can get before it fatigues. You with me? Mm-hmm. Here we go. Just hold that strong. I'm going to keep pumping down on that. We're going to try to get it 100. Push up for me here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3. And it goes at 33-ish. Let's try this one here. You ready? Hold that up strong for me here. Good. I'm going to turn it off one time. Push up strong. And push up again. And that's normal function in that shoulder. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 35-ish on the right, 33-ish on the left. Yeah? Okay. So we can see, now she said she feels like a 0, but it says her energy recycling is around like at 30%, 35%. What do you feel like when your battery's at 35%?
Sluggish.
Yeah, sluggish, tired, put me to bed. No, you do the dishes tonight, right? Yeah. And then the other one, and you can feel this on yourself, but it's usually more sensitive when somebody else says, like when you try to tickle yourself, it doesn't really work. But it might be tender, you can feel this. It's about 2-3 finger widths below the center of your collarbone. Okay, so I'm going to check for some tenderness here, okay? Right there's one, right? Give me a number on that. 10's bad, 0's good. What do you feel there?
10.
That's a 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so that, like, in my mind, 10 would be like childbirth, but I never delivered a child. So, but she says that hurts a lot, right? And granted that. So, but seriously, give me a number on that again.
10.
It's, okay, so she's, yeah, I'm going with that. That's her pain, not, right? Check the left side here. That one's not as bad.
Uh-oh.
No, but more on the right.
Yeah.
What number is that one?
That's maybe 6.
6 on the left, 10 on the right. Okay? And so we can see some tenderness under that. That's common with thyroid challenges. Next, we're going to look at her whole hormone team.
Why is that from the thyroid? I don't understand that.
Oh, yeah. So the neurology of that, basically, without getting super deep into it, there's a doctor in the early 50s, and he was an osteopath, and he started like just feeling patients. They go, oh, this person's got a liver problem. And they would, on the blood work, whatever, and they would palpate and just feel it. Oh, it's congested here. And rub, oh, that's sore. And they would rub these reflexes out and would actually improve their condition. And so that one got mapped out for thyroid on the chest. Why is it there? I don't have a great answer for you, but that's just where that is and historically kind of where that comes from. It's called Chapman's reflex. Dr. Chapman was an osteopath.
Because it's closer to your thyroid.
Likely, but you would think it'd be like right next to it. Yeah, I don't have a good reason as to why it's there, but that's the location for the reflex, Chapman's reflex for thyroid function. Great question.
Have you familiarity with the work of Dr. Otto Warburg?
Yes. Yeah, and that's where a lot you get it. You get it.
Is that
Yeah.
a frequency guy?
I don't know if Warwick did a lot with frequency, he did a lot with cellular health and oxygenation of the tissues and things like that. He got the Nobel Prize. He's kind of a big deal. Yeah. So then let's look at hormone team. So we'll use this one here. That was strong, right, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Push that up for me here. Now, where does the thyroid start? Brain. We're gonna have her check the brain point, which is right at the hairline or where it used to be. Let me touch right there for guys that receding, where the hairline used to be. So for you, Bonnie, go ahead and put your finger right here for me. Okay, and then hold that up strong for me here, and that's decent. Now we're gonna check below that is the hypothalamus, which is the main hormone signaler. We're gonna use 2 fingers. You can have your hand for a second. We're gonna use these 2. We're gonna kind of put bring your elbow down here. Perfect. That's a little more complicated. Can I do that one for you? All right, so hold that up strong here. Good. You're doing perfect. Elbow straight. And the hypothalamus points are here. So push up in my hand. Okay, and so we see the hypothalamus is having a hard time. You noticing that? Gets weaker. Take that away. Push up strong. Decent. Contact. So like when you tap a knee and it kicks, this is involuntary. Okay, so we're just checking, we're stimulating that part of her skin, and that reflexes to that part of the brain. It says, is this in sync or not? Is there something disrupting it? Has anybody seen anything like that before? So you've seen a little bit of it? Awesome. So brand new for most of you. We're going to go a little deeper. Is that okay? So we know hypothalamus, that's like top of the stack. We're going to go to the pituitary. That's the main hormone controller. You're going to use this hand, just gently touch on the bridge of your nose. And that's the reflex for pituitary pushing up in my hand. And that one also is failing, having a hard day. Okay, now this doesn't tell us anything about lab values, but it lets us know, wait a minute, brain is tired out. So what do you expect thyroid to be doing?
Working.
Right, it's being working, it's trying to do the best it can, but it's getting upstream is even tired. So let's go on the notch of the neck, right in through here gently. Couple fingers on that. You don't need to press any harder than that. Hold that up strong for me here. And that's the thyroid reflex, and that one also is tired, which we saw with your teres minor and this work. See how this kind of dovetails together? This is way more clinical information than, oh, your TSH is normal, see you later. Okay? So then, remember then it converts in the liver and in the guts. So we're going to check those reflexes as well. So this hand's going to go on the liver, just flat over on the rib cage there, that's great. And push up in my hand for me here again, hold that up strong. And so liver is getting a little overloaded maybe. And then let's go to the guts, which is kind of in the midsection around the belly button, just over that is good. And that's the small intestine area, also having some challenges. So she might not be converting the hormone properly. Thyroid's a little tired out, brain's a little tired out. We saw these different, you with me? So these are maybe areas we would need to address clinically to be able to get the real result that we need. You with me on that? So we did a good screening here. Now let's actually work on this thing. All right, so what's going to happen now is Dr. Midgley is going to join us. He's going to be doing the treatment for you. And the cool thing is it doesn't matter like who's doing it. It's the technology, it's the system that we use that gets the results. So that's the beautiful part. And while he's working on her, yeah, you like that chair? Yeah. Now the only layer of physics that we're employing here is light today. And I'm going to walk you through what's going on with this here.
Is that infrared?
Say again?
Infrared?
Infrared? It does have infrared, but this particular light has red, infrared, and violet. So we're getting 3 different parts of the wavelength or spectrum of light there. Good question. And so when we use light therapy, good question.
Yeah, so if you don't have a thyroid, how is that affected?
Great question. Let's ask the group. How might this be effective if you don't have a thyroid? And why would light be supportive if there's no thyroid?
So you're using frequency?
This is just vibration. So we're sending some stimulus up to the rest of the body.
And light energizes the body. Do you remember on the when you make oxygen and energy on that left side or the right side of the screen there? When you're running that pathway, light energy, electrons, they all go into that pathway at 100% efficiency. So let's say the brain's tired and the liver's tired, all these other things, and you might need the hormone, but if those other systems are low battery, how well is that going to work? In other words, how well is the hormone going to work in the body if the other batteries are low? Does that make sense, my question? If the brain's tired and you put energy into the brain, what might happen? Yeah, more energy in the brain. And then it can use that for what?
Regenerating the thyroid.
Healing.
Yeah, healing. Whatever that might need to be. Does that make any little more sense? How else can I make this analogy for you? Let's think of it this way. Do you ever see a swimming pool? And there's a light, so it's at nighttime, you get a light in the pool, but it's at one end of the pool. Does it light up only that part of the pool, or does it light up the entire pool? The entire pool. So when we put light into the body, even if the gland is missing, which the brain has no concept of, it's still lighting up the whole pool. Your body's made it mostly of water, right? So when you're lighting up one part of the body, you're literally lighting up the entire thing. And you're adding energy into the body for healing. Is that making sense? Yeah, is that helpful to kind of get that idea?
I think about each body part having its own frequency or resonance. And when you're utilizing the light, you're infusing it with various frequencies or resonance that helps it do what it's supposed to do.
So that's
absorbing regeneration.
I'm glad you brought that point. That's a little deeper we usually go, but think of it this way. You have your favorite radio station, and you're turning on your favorite song on that favorite radio station. Right? The radio station is just the general frequency coming in, and you turn on that favorite song, oh man, that's my jam. Right? And that everything starts to change and get better. You start dancing in your seat, right? So the body does the same thing. And we can do the same thing with frequencies. We can tell the light where to go in the body. We can tell the electrons what battery to charge. Like we can get that specific with tailoring treatment when we follow these processes. That's super exciting. So we see inflammation reduced. Remember we said inflammation is the bad guy. So we get light reduces inflammation. It helps to regenerate tissue because you're adding energy for it to heal. You're telling it specifically what to do. We see the ratio of your hormones improve. Like all these things are proven with light therapy. Antibodies, if you have autoimmune disease, antibodies can drop as well. Okay, so vibration therapy. That's the other thing she has her feet on here. Your thyroid hormone distributes through your lymph first. And so the vibration enhances the lymphatic circulation and flow of the body. Right, so if the gland is here, and you have to get your thyroid hormone down to everywhere else, it needs to go through your circulation. Does that make sense? So then vibration makes that work better. It also reduces stress, which is another big deal, right? Okay. Who's thinking this is kind of interesting so far? Yeah, a little different approach.
I'm connecting something I purchased.
Oh, okay.
So they have these little machines with this little curved thing and you do your face and it has all the colors. And it's supposed to regenerate your cells on your face to help you look younger.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I connected it with that.
Because
it's all the colors.
All the colors, right? Yeah, great thought. So again, they're leveraging red light therapy, all the different, you may have heard of this stuff before. The light is just, everybody knows it makes energy. And you need energy to heal. Okay? So the other thing we do is they're mentioning the foot pads. This literally helps to pull toxins out of the body, and it also will charge the battery up in your body. Gets rid of acid in the body. Do you ever put things away at holiday time? Right, that battery's in it. You get up the next year and they're all corroded, and so that means the battery is toast. Does that make sense? If it's all crystallized like that. So in short, when you charge the battery back up, it's got enough juice, then that's not happening. Same thing, that this supports your body in detox for 48 to 72 hours after each session. And you get a lot more electrons with this, which your body makes energy with. That's the key player. So this is another way to support the body in cleaning out poisons that drain the battery and literally charge the battery at the same time. It's a win-win. I wish we could do without this one because it's pretty messy, right? Like There's some other simple way to do it, but this, it works. That's why we use it.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but as far as that goes, it does amazing things. So that's a big deal. Another major one here, which is not turned on right now, but this is the chair that Bonnie's in here. This bed here is another option. This is pulse electromagnetic field. So remember we said the three physics are what? Light, electricity, and magnets. Okay, those are the big takeaways today. So this is the magnet. Literally, it turns on and off. It's a magnetic bed, okay, and it's electromagnetic. So it turns it on and off very quickly. It runs on DC current, which your brain and nervous system run on. Everything else in our world is AC current, which drains your body's battery. Does that make sense? So, so we need to recharge. Remember the battery picture? This literally is like putting your cell phone on the charger and it charges back up. It's exactly what it does.
Which make is that device?
This one is from Pulse Pro down in Georgia. Yeah. And the cool thing is now there are options to be able to have them even at home, and you don't need to pay the super premium doctor price tag that they, right? So that's the cool thing. But we see all kinds of cool things with this. I've seen fractures healing literally half the time because we're adding energy for the body to heal. I can tell you story after story on this guy. So, magnets, right? Physics for healing. Another piece of the puzzle is food that actually works and nutritional protocols that actually work. And we can literally test your body like we did for Bonnie here and see, oh, that system's weak. We can try a certain nutrient on the tongue and see if the neurology changes right here in the office. Instead of try these and call me in the morning, we know this is working for you right now. Okay, so this is another support. But do you remember the triangle we started with? Physiology, chemistry, physics. We're using physics right now. We're not even changing our chemistry. But when we leverage physics and get that boosted up and then we change chemistry, guess what happens?
She feels better.
Rocket boosters on your energy. Right? Who wants some rocket boosters on the energy? Does that make sense? All right. Briefly, we'll cover stem cell support. A lot of times people with thyroid challenges have other issues like back problems, shoulder problems, joint issues. And we can support that with soft wave. This is a miracle worker machine. It's all over the Olympics in Paris. Eagles have at least 2 in their locker room. You name it. Everybody's using soft wave to heal tissue quicker. We can also use it to help support brain. So if the brain's tired out, we can get some energy into the brain with this technology as well. It looks like an ultrasound wand, and it's really pretty cool.
Is that the same therapy they use on dog injuries?
Yeah, dogs, horses, like all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Yeah. So brain fog.
Just now for people.
Yeah, now it's for people. Brain fog. So my wife Emily, right? So at this point we were homeschooling. We meaning her. Let's be honest. She was doing all this work. But tethered to caffeine, sugar, stimulants, right? Like pick them in the day and then calm it down at night. Who's been there? And you start navigating this and supporting her system and getting the energy back in. She doesn't need that anymore. She enjoys it when she wants to, but isn't needing it to get the next thing done. Does that make sense? Yeah. Can you even imagine that happening for you again? Yeah. So that's kind of, and then the brain starts clicking. She's got all these brilliant ideas. Like, I knew she was amazing, but then we could do this, we could do that. It's like, she just go, her brain just kicked in, which I'm happy to support her in. But yeah, whatever. It's just part of the fun of it. Yeah. So, but does that make sense? Like, when your brain clicks back on, oh man, look out, world. There's so many amazing ideas you can do to support everybody. This is fabulous. So, how we doing, Doc?
Good.
Let's see how we did. You ready, Bonnie?
Yeah.
let me grab our
Cool.
lasers here.
So can I ask, in your nutritional program, are you using mushroom blends?
Find you here.
Depends. Specifically for thyroid, I don't see mushroom being amazingly helpful, to be honest with you. If you're supporting adrenal and things like that are like like cordyceps and reishi and those kind of things can be really helpful for adrenal.
But is the adrenal and the thyroid not?
They're connected in there.
Right.
But yeah, like specifically talking about thyroid support, I'm not grabbing a mushroom first.
Right.
Yeah, but it can be helpful in the overall system for various things. Yeah, like if there's an infection, you need to work on that. Like reishi can be supported there, but yeah, it's not.
I just read stuff. It's like.
Yeah, right. Yes, and that's the thing too. Like that's the cool thing is we can check it. We can literally test it and see is this helpful in supporting your body or not, which is a whole other seminar. So we'll have to. Yeah, but for now, let's see how Bonnie's doing. Bonnie, what are you noticing? What's your experience at the moment?
Well, I got up all that chair for today.
Okay, and it's different than usual. Okay, so tell me about that. Usually it's like slower or painful. Like, what's that like for you? Both painful and slower, and that wasn't happening now.
No.
Wow, that's cool. That's a fun side effect.
Yeah, you just stood right up. Yeah.
We weren't actually treating for any of that, right? When's the last time that happened?
Can't remember.
Like seriously, you can't remember? No, I mean, like honestly, it's been such a part of your life that it's always been pain and slow getting out of a chair. Oh my gosh, we could just stop there. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
Like literally years of your life. That's incredible. Wow. These are the side effects we see. Okay, these are the fun things. We weren't expecting that. Let's actually stand here again, and we're gonna go back through our list here and see how we're doing. So, you ready? You doing okay?
Look out.
I know, look out. So, do you notice what you notice about her already?
Confidence.
Confidence, right? A little more perk here. What's your energy level? Would you say now? You said you were like 0 before. What are you noticing at the moment?
It's getting there.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Can you put a number on getting there?
Maybe 5.
Maybe a 5. Okay, so that's like 500% improvement, right? If we started at 1 foot, when's the last time you were a 5 at? Oh, we're already after 5 o'clock. When's the last time you were at an energy of 5 after 5 p.m.?
Oh, never.
Never. Wow. But these are big changes. I'm excited to see what we're going to see next year. Okay, let's check your range of motion. Let this relax here. Let it go easy and loose.
Oh my God.
Did we treat a shoulder?
No,
Or treat her for shoulder problems? So wait a minute. We got her out of a chair better, pain's better, energy's better, and we moved the shoulder without doing weeks of PT. Huh. Let's see what else is going on? Let's see what else changed. Remember that Terry's minor elbow bend? Bring this out here for me, both arms. Yeah, right there. I'm going to push in, remember that?
Okay.
So only push in. And now.
See, I told you.
Yeah, see, told you. Yeah, I'm ready to go. This is beautiful. Okay, let's check your the energy level with the ATP production. Remember, see, we get 100 contractions. Arms straight for me here. Thumb down a hair. Yep, hold that in my hand. Yep, I'm going to turn it off one time. Push up strong. Okay, and that weakens. Push up strong. And that's normal neurology. How many we get on this side?
33.
33. Okay, let's try again. Hold that for me here.
Okay.
Yep, push up. Here you go. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 40, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 50. 60. Am I pushing hard enough?
No.
60. And she says no. 70. And we're still going. 80. 90. That's over 100. And she's still going.
That's pretty good.
Can you do that with Synthroid?
No.
Can you do that when you take your thyroid out?
No.
Actually, you still can. I've seen that happen, even if the thyroid's gone.
Okay.
So,
Thyroid is gone.
let's check. Yours is gone?
Yeah.
We'll see. I thought we had a whole thyroid intact. This is amazing, actually. This is incredible, really. Let's check your pain level here. How's that doing? I would have never picked you, actually, if I knew the thyroid is out.
Oh.
This is just more complicated, right? Like, we can't tell. It doesn't. This is amazing. This is fabulous. All right, how's this doing?
No, that's a little ouchy.
Is it? Okay, if it was a 10, where's that now?
7.
7. So we got 30% reduction in pain on that. How
Why
about
did you have your thyroid taken out?
Pardon me?
Why did you have
Yeah.
your thyroid taken out? How long ago?
It was overactive,
Mhm.
and I was told that I could not be on that medication
Mhm.
And how long ago?
back in the 70s.
Wow.
50 years ago.
Yeah. A long time ago.
And no medication.
Yeah. I'm on thyroid medication now.
Yeah, they take it out and then they give you the hormone it used to make.
Replace it. They left the stems,
Okay.
2 stems, and that's it.
So 50 years without a thyroid, and we're seeing this kind of change in a couple minutes.
Who would have known?
Imagine doing this day in and day out.
Where have you been all
Right?
my life?
Look, we don't have the giant budget like Big Pharma does to get the word out. That's why we're doing these kind of, like, how do you know what I mean?
Which is why Big
So-
Pharma
Yeah,
advertises
exactly.
other-
Yeah. So, and what's the pain level here?
Zilch.
Still,
No,
that one's gone.
that one's gone.
Okay. So, like,
Big money.
so you
You're
go to
a
what?
customer.
You go to a pain doctor for this. You go to a endocrinologist for that. You go to a physical therapist for the shoulder. Like, you see what's happening when we leverage physics? I'm not saying we can fix everything all the time, but you see what happens when the body has the energy it needs to start working and healing itself. That's what I want you to grab. When you leverage the physics and you apply the principles, the body can start doing amazing things like that, the speed of light.
Can I take a wild guess and say insurance doesn't cover a lot of this?
Pam, that's a great thought. Yeah, and unfortunately, you're right.
Which is why I hate insurance and medical programs, because
Yeah.
you know, it's just like Medicare. You have to pay a monthly fee, and then they force you to pay for RX. Well, I don't take RX.
Right.
Well, we're going to penalize you if you don't pay for it. Well, that's blackmail. That's what I call blackmail.
Yeah. And Belle's got it started like now.
Yeah, I'm really tired.
Yeah. I wish it was going to change in our lifetime, but let's face it, they're not trying to pay for new cutting edge. And this isn't
No.
new. Laser's been around for
They're
40
not even
years or
trying
more.
to heal you. They're just trying to keep you sick so they make more money.
Right. So they don't go bankrupt.
Right.
Right. Like that's yeah. So yeah, that's
It's
you're
a
right.
scam.
Insurance isn't on board with this type of
It's a giant scam.
treatment. Right. And so similar though to like your car insurance,
Mhm.
is your car insurance, do they make sure you drive properly and obey all the rules and, drive the speed limit and take care of, maintain your car? That's not the insurance's role. Like if there's a serious problem and you need to have something, an accident, that's what insurance picks up. So this is the same concept with that.
Right.
You're responsible to take care of your body and your health, and Big Pharma is not coming to save you.
Well, we're responsible for paying for everybody's health.
Well, that's fair. That's a whole other conversation. You're not wrong. So let's check out this reflex team. But thanks for bringing that up. It's a super common question we get.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that too.
Hold this one strong for me here. Yep. And then remember, push up for me here.
Oh,
She can do it herself now. Look at that. Push up. That's great. Bridge of the nose.
nice.
Uh-huh. Got it there. Yep. Perfect. And push up there when you're ready. And so that one could use a little more support. We didn't get that one. That's a cool thing. We see, is the reflex better or is it not?
Right.
She got amazing changes, but we still have some work to do. Right? And now the thyroid, I don't know if that thing's gone. It might still be touchy here for me on the neck where the thyroid used to be. Yeah. Your brain has no concept of missing organ.
Right.
It's always trying to work as if it's there. Hold it up strong. And so thyroid says, yeah, we still need a little, that still needs some support. Liver over here for me, flat hand up. Pushing up there. That's sturdier though. And then let's move to the midsection for that intestinal change. Yeah. And so we still have, even though we didn't get all better, we got improvement and enough to see his shoulder. Like,
That's great.
I don't know that you guys appreciate yet the miracle you're seeing right here in front of you with Bonnie. That is unbelievable, having no thyroid, and she goes from 0 energy to a 5. Like, can you start to like appreciate it a little bit? Can you imagine that for yourself a little bit? Like, that's super exciting. Thanks for being willing to come up here. Let's give a round of applause. Yeah. Bonnie, what else would you like to share from your experience there? Anything else that you noticed or was stand out for you?
Nothing really stood out. I think I was a little hesitant.
Sure.
Maybe, but improved it.
You were up there doing a lot of work though, right? We were working up there.
Yeah.
You had to sit there still, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So imagine how using technology in your own home, getting guidance and support and not having to rely on going to the doctor. Would that be helpful? Would that save you 1 million miles on your vehicle with gas and time and energy? Like, right? It's energy going to the doctor. Now, often we still need some support there and interaction and work on the stress brain and all those other things and help fill that in. But what if you had options at home that you can treat yourself day in and day out? Imagine 90 days from now, 6 months from now, if Bonnie's doing that every single day for 6 months, what do you think is going to happen? Do you see why we can make claims like 50 to 100% better?
Right.
You see why that happens? We're leveraging physics and giving the body the energy it needs so it can start to fix itself. And then we're guiding and directing along the way and tweaking and changing as we need to. Does that make sense? Who wants a little bit of that? Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, 2 options at this point, right? So, like, keep doing what you're doing, get the same results you've been getting. Or you can maybe explore something different like Bonnie did. She was a little hesitant, but got out there and made a change. You took action, right? And we made changes. Amazing changes. And so how do we do that? And common questions like Pam mentioned, does insurance cover this, right? Like that's typically number one. But how do we know if I qualify? Well, we got to do our own assessments. Figure out what, I'm sure many of you have already had labs done. We're not going to repeat what we don't need to repeat. We might have to expand what's not yet been checked. Don't know that yet. We got to figure out what that looks like. When we do our assessment, do our intake, do our screening and tests like we did for Bonnie, and a little deeper than that even. And then we figure out, can we help you? Do we actually specialize in your primary inflammatory drivers? And can we help you resolve this? And if not, we're going to get you in the hands of somebody that can. So either way, the next step should be a win-win. Okay. Exam takes roughly an hour, and then if we need some follow-up labs or something like that, we'll figure that out along the way. Not a big deal, but that's kind of what that does. How long does it typically take? Depending, apparently if you have a thyroid that's been gone for 50 years, we can fix you in about 10 minutes. but truthfully, it's going to vary from person to person, right? Depending on what your goals are. If you're going, I just need a little bit more boost in my energy. Cool. If you want, I want this autoimmune disease gone, that's a different conversation. Does that make sense? So timelines are going to vary on what that is, depending on your goals and your health situation.
Does this help with other things like arthritis?
Great question. Ask Bonnie. She got up out of that chair.
Yeah.
Her shoulder, did you see the shoulder go from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes is the short answer. What's arthritis? Joint inflammation, right? And then specifically with arthritis, when we use the soft wave, I kind of glossed over that one. That's an amazing one to help with arthritis and arthritis pain. So we have a lot of technologies we can help support. We use those systems to get the energy back in the body. Look out. Okay? Yeah. And Pam was already ahead of the game here in terms of insurance coverage. And just to be straightforward with you guys, we have nothing to hide. It's going to be out of pocket. Okay.
What's the average cost?
Great question, Mike. Average cost depends on what we're trying to accomplish. Roughly. That's such a challenging thing. It's like Bonnie's is gone, right? I'm not trying to skirt the question. I'm just thinking if we're only working thyroid, Does that make sense? Like I'm trying to go, how many puzzle pieces we have to fix? So we're adding like, oh, there's actually this shoulder issue, and then we're gonna work on that too. And my back spot, like we can look at the whole person. But I'll tell you this just straight out to answer Mike's question directly. If we're doing labs and getting our information that way, so that's gonna include like lab testing, office visits, some technology in there. You're gonna range between say 1,000, and that can go up from there. We have people that like to invest in their whole family getting a technology package, and depending on how many pieces we plug in there, we can see 15, 20K for those, but they've got tools to treat their whole family.
And Medicaid, none of that takes care of anything.
Say that again.
Medicare, Medicaid won't pay.
Medicare, Medicaid, write the rules. Kind of say it's designed to make your quality of life better, Mike. They're not going to cover it.
Right.
That's Medicare's guidelines.
Zero. None.
Zero.
So not even your labs?
Now, here's the thing with labs. If your primary is going to run them and we get the information, I literally couldn't care less who runs the lab.
Do you have a list of the labs?
Let's say it again.
Do you have a list of the labs that you want?
Depending on the person, yeah. I mean, we can print that off or show you the ones we standard run as a baseline. For most people, yeah, I'm happy to get that for you if that would be helpful. We can get that to you.
Yeah, at least it covers that.
Yeah. So the trick is, does your primary going to order everything we need to see? Because they're going to go thyroid, and if I'm out of this lane, then I lose my license. They may not run everything we need to see for thyroid.
Well, as a doctor, can't you prescribe these labs?
I can. But here's the challenge. With my license as a chiropractor, Medicare covers zero for labs.
What if you have the extra?
Oh, like a supplement or something like that? They might.
Usually supplementals only cover whatever Medicare will cover.
Right.
Yeah. So that's everybody's
But
insurance
remember,
is so different on
You
that.
are your own medical advocate. If you put your foot down and tell your doctor, I want these
Yeah,
labs,
exactly.
then he really has to run them.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
I would encourage you to do that. The other option we do, a lot of our patients love, we're part of a nationwide cash co-op. So if we run that panel that Donald's asking for, and we do that basic one, if you itemize it for insurance, nowadays it's easily over $1,500 worth of blood work. We can typically get that for under $400 for everything. And then if something's flagged, guess who doesn't know? Your insurance company, anybody else you don't want to know. It's private between you and the provider. Does that make sense? So that's another option that's out there that a lot of people are unaware of that we can help support, like bridge that gap of, But all that to say, lab work, cool. We can handle that any which way we need to. In terms of treatment technology and all that, that's going to be super limited in most cases for what that's going to cover. Is that helpful to know?
How much did this come and had the evaluation?
Great question, Stephanie. That's where we're going next. And we're going to try to get through that because we are definitely zooming along. My promise to you is if we can't help, we're going to make sure we can get you so that we can. Bottom line there. Here's what we do. We have a 2-day process. Okay, step 1 is we get information. Step 2 is we talk about that information. Pretty simple. We do our consult. What are your health history and goals? What do you want back out of your health? We do our evaluation. We do micro circulation testing because if your circulation is bad, your hormones have a harder time moving around. And we like to see that working well. It also tells us about your stress level. That needs to be balanced in the middle. It takes less than 5 minutes and it's non-invasive. Looks like a pulse ox on your finger. I explain these because most people don't know. They've never seen this stuff before. It's like, what does all this mean? So then we check for these trauma patterns. Is your body in fight or flight or freeze? Where's that at? And then we get that information together. We look at your labs you've had done or whatever information that you've already had. Go over that as a team. Put that together and go over, give you a graph of your metabolic health, customized care plan to get your goals back. Okay, there's no cookie cutter approach to this thing. Everything on one screen, total value is $875 for everything that we do in 2 days. Okay? Here's the thing. People that take action like Bonnie did are the ones that start winning, right? And so to encourage you in that direction, we're going to give you a gift of a treatment, either a foot bath or something similar to support you in the process. I'm also going to give you 25 anti-inflammatory recipes you can start using right now to start getting inflammation down your body and start the healing process. Does that sound like a win? So we're including that for you as bonuses. Everything values at $945. And for spending a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, evening with us, we're not going to do that because I understand insurance isn't going to pick this up. I want to make this super simple for everybody. So $197 is our initial offer for the 2 visits. It's going to cover both visits and all the information we need to gather in that. $197 covers all that. Lets us know we can help you and what your options are.
Pleasure.
Yeah, and if you need labs, right, whatever labs might be, that we'd have to discuss, so what you've already had done, or if you're getting it done somewhere else, all those kind of things. But evaluation, examination, yeah, $197 for everything. Is that a little more than fair?
Yep.
Awesome. If that makes sense for you and you're thinking, yeah, I'd like to check that out, here's how you do that. Leslie's got appointments, okay? There are a lot of you here. First available is going to be first available. We reserve some for these groups. But obviously, if you need to check scheduling at home, do that. You got 48 hours. Give us a ring. Catch us before Easter. Say, hey, I was in a workshop.
Pamphlet or anything that has all of your.
You know what? All of the.
Like all the energy work and things that you do.
We can get you something like that. Yeah. Yeah. The brochure's not actually made yet, but it's like we can get you
It's just like a list of some of the
overview of things you work on.
Right.
Sure. Yep. We get the free Pam.
Yeah, before I order my magnet matters.
Yeah, let's talk before that. So, yeah, really simply, check with Leslie. We'll get you set up on that. You'll pay the $197 this evening to hold your spot. We'll get you all the information you need. Let's rock and roll and get you better. Get your charge up with it for Bonnie. Okay? Did you learn something valuable this evening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Did you see something miraculous today? Yeah, I did. I would say, middle of my heart, thank you for being here. Until next time, go.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
What does it do for nodules?
Depends. Yeah, a lot of people function just fine with them. Have I seen them reduce? Yes. A lot of times you get function back, and the body just kind of keeps that cellular structure there, and it's not a big deal. Yeah.
Do you do all the testing?
The team, we have a team approach. Yep. That's another great thing. You get more than one doc for the same. Everybody's in on your support.
But is the initial one with you?
With him or with me?
Yeah, either first available for whoever can see the quickest. Because usually, if you're with thyroid, you're going, I need some help now. So we get you first available.
So
Once you did the.
I'll follow up. I got a whole.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Once you did the, once you've gone through the whole treatment, do you have to keep coming back to follow up?
Great question. So follow up. Let me do this. Yeah. For those of you that want to grab a spot or need to head elsewhere, by all means, feel free to jump up and go. If you want to hang out for questions, I'll be here for another 5 or 10 minutes. To answer your question for follow-up, depends on what the goals are and what we're trying to accomplish. Most people enjoy having some support and follow. Go, what do I do next?
I had some lab work done.
Okay.
I already look at my T3, T4.
See, now we're getting into like console stuff, Mike.
Well, I just wanted you to look at the numbers that came up with it.
All right.
As you can see.
Wow. You need some help. Some help then. Yeah.
That was normal there, but down here, here's where I was in trouble. Look what I was in inside.
Yes.
Good.
No, the normals.
Down there.
Exactly.
Or questions? Or what is it? Yeah, I'm a senior specialist.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
So,
I didn't-
if you want to answer questions, I'll send you.
I'm a thyroid
Or something.
And vice versa.
About 1,000 people in my reference, rural base that are amazing.
A1C was
So I'm always happy to help.
So I was good there.
If you need,
But
we
why?
have elder lawyers,
Based stuff.
financial, elder financial advisors.
Deeper conversation.
Just all kinds of great people.
I'm freaking out all the time. I just
I do everything. I do mobility and home prep and all of it. Everything. It's a big job. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a lot. Yeah. We usually are in and out of your house done and have you on the market.
Yeah, but
That's like,
at a big cost.
Well, we actually have programs so that we kind of use your house to help you get to your goal. So if we're selling your house, then we may do like a deposit and then we'll push the rest of closing. Just helps you, because you need the money to go wherever you're going. Yeah, and that's why we don't want you to do that.
yeah.
That's exactly why we do that quickly, and we don't want you to do that. That's not financially, that's not what you want to do with your money, right? Huh? I did. Yeah. And your friends or anybody, we do free consults, I just come
I didn't want to
in.
take my thyroid out.
It's not a sales call, I'm really,
I didn't want to do it.
I'm really more of a service.
My daughter just had her take that. She's 37.
I was born transition.
Yeah, I know Carol.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, man, appreciate it.
That's because all they want to do is sell stuff in your home. Yeah, and then they still charge you $6,000-$7,000 to clear it out.
So what is your
That's why we decided it was easier if we help you sell your home. We know we're gonna get paid at the end of closing, so we're not worried about it. Which is one of the reasons I love that program. Because not everybody has cash to do that. Like it's crazy. Yeah. I don't drink bottled water and I'm not even sure.
Okay, well, I mean, that could be
directed towards.
But it was nice of them.
assistant yet. Kick it in, and then maybe the slack and the other assistants. So,
How many roadblocks?
yeah.
It was nice to meet you, ladies. You did good. That's crazy, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I have five of my houses, so I mean, just.
Oh, that would be a lot.
I
Yeah.
walk away. I saw it now so many times. I moved.
It sounds like a good program. Yeah, I have a lot of technology at home already. I mean, I've spent 3 years researching and working on my thyroid. So I came to see what went missing. I didn't like there, but yeah, infrared, violet, like it's a combination. I don't have that. It's something I'm
Bottom line is.
because I'm doing a lot of the nutritional side, supplements, selenium, iodine, yeah, using selenium, iodine, ADK, B12. I have some great users, and I have supplement that helps me build can't think of it. It's called Thyroid Booster. So you can look at that. Yeah, I
Yes.
Well, whatever your body makes, your body can heal. And so I think if you don't have a lot of energy, you have a hard time doing everything, something's going on. Right? It is right. It's not just so for me, it's been a rabbit hole journey. Now I don't know how I can heal my body. And my daughter's been helpful because she's and one of her best friends is a holistic healer, so she gives me a lot of advice too. But this is a really cool combination approach, which I think is good. Yeah.
Fresh air, sunlight.
Yeah.
It's important to be as natural as possible. Because the food and the air and the things.
They're giving up.
Yeah, they're trying to kill us. It's intentional.
Yeah.
It's by design, we'll say that.
My TSC type was 94.
I will be in touch.
Thanks, man.
They said 94 plus, they can't test it anymore. Doctor called me in. She goes, oh my God, you should even call. She goes, I see you. And we talked for a little while. She stopped me out. And I said, laughing. She goes, why are you laughing? I said,
You've done nothing. So tell me I'm probably gonna die.
Right.
Yeah, I never felt
I just
that.
can't wait till I
You know,
just didn't want
but
to.
then when I was a
Yeah.
baby.
Because it was moving, I mean, I haven't
It's
even
a
unpacked
seven-
anything, and
tell
I
me
knew
what.
because I'm always the
This is so weird.
My daughter
I'm
walked in,
78.
Mom, you're giving me
Sitting there.
flashbacks
Yeah.
of your
And I
old
thought,
house. Because it had gotten to the point where my old house, I was just, I was just like, it was the
And they give
water.
me one, it goes the other way.
I
And the
haven't
other way,
been
it
there
goes
4
the
years
other way.
ago.
So I've
3,700
gotten
square
there
foot house,
Thursday.
acre land.
Well, that's been
And,
real messy.
my husband had been deceased.
Yeah.
Well, it's 13
Because,
years
I mean, I've
now.
got-
We have
It's
built a
about
house.
clothes on
Yeah,
them
one
all.
time.
It's just, and I know when the weather rates up.
Yeah, we
That's
built,
what
we
I
built,
give you
we
mortgage
built
numbers
it
are,
up, the
yeah,
house.
you know, way
It's in
down.
this
And,
States, you know. where
oh,
the-
yeah, so I'm at a point where,
And we were there
This
40,
burns
we were there 45 years.
you know, it's been,
No,
I was in a really bad car.
because,
Those
we
cars,
were
majors,
just-
PT. And that's when the one doctor, he had
Beautiful
ring.
Oh, thank
Tested
you.
the thyroid.
Yeah.
And,
And so,
and,
Hawaii,
this is oftentimes a trauma.
was out there
And so that was in 90.
I've been in.
Wow.
Yeah.
healthcare. I was
I'm just
teaching.
yo-yo.
I was gonna say, you were taking wonderful
Well,
notes
I-
there.
I sleep studies, I'm
See,
so
that's the
vigil,
trouble
that's
with
why
teaching.
I
I
get
taught
one.
in industry. Now I know the
Even
lines.
on for vigil. And they go,
But I saw students with your friends,
I did
taking a
not.
picture of them.
We're both
sad.
And in the summer, you're up in
Cancer,
Michigan,
and one
in the,
like I
so
said,
no
I started
doctors
to
anyway.
read about
Beautiful
cancer.
lake, good tune there, but I'm so friggin' high, I don't even enjoy it, and then of course you get back and how come you're not a fan? It's hard, you know, so, yeah, and my daughter has mild thyroid, my granddaughter, that's how she's all those. And to look at it, she's an amazing dancer, and they did a wrong test, they put us in hospital. We ran this test that we normally don't run.
I think I was an
Let's
exception.
see if she's one.
And I could see you too at first, but now.
Yeah, every time, so, but nobody before me, but my daughter, my granddaughter, my granddaughter, especially hers, pretty hidden, but they're both on the
1-2.
TSA wasn't looking for this, but doctors I've asked them.
Bonnie, B-O-N-N,
I know people works for it.
Mhm.
I've been doing this since 91, it's not. When you're going back, like, we'll just go with your teeth, your, we just want to monitor your teeth, so I have to pill that day, and another pill on the weekend, you do 175. Yeah, but I said, I've done this, I've done this, so I know what the answer is, it's not gonna work.
It's very confusing. And
Yeah.
so.
Oh, they want two
every year
numbers,
I go
right?
for my checkup.
But
In the
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like, well,
Well, it's, you know, some of it is
I have some
just how life, and some of it is
I try to
society.
feel
It's
the.
like, what and everybody's always laughing at me because I want an air conditioner, you know, and, so you go, okay, you guys go have a good time, you know, but, yeah, that's all part of
So,
it.
see, I think when you think about it,
Yeah, it's again, like I said, when I was kind of that car, I had a lot of surgeries and broken stuff and head injury and the whole bit, it was big time. Yeah.
You have very
Don't even think about that, yeah.
That's that conscientious, they need breaks,
Yeah.
you need time, you need open something.
You're lucky it was a
You know, as we're aging.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
It is true, you know, every time.
I was so blessed to have been involved with this company for the last 28 years.
Yeah.
Well, they just changed it.
I did my time with the walkers and the canes and the chairs, and, yeah, 3 years in PT.
Yeah, okay,
You know, to get back, and I'm really fortunate. Oh, I know.
I'm taking this chair, so.
Sure, I can at least find out what's going on, you know. The,
So it was so nice meeting you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm everybody could use
So,
Good.
daughter,
Yeah, everybody.
my husband
Thank
took me
you.
down to the lake to get it opened up, and I was trying to kiss her. It's not a lot of free time then.
Okay.
Probably can happen even.
Yeah, it's been great to.
Yeah. Good time. And I'm sure Sterling would like to talk to you, she doesn't go out and stuff, and she manages her duty really well, yeah. Yeah, and,
Ever come to your place?
yeah, she's our, way back from Michigan.
There was a lot
Right on there, she's
Yeah.
fine, but you wouldn't think, we never had, she just has terrible school. I saw that all of what he plays maybe is starting. I mean, he's got a loaf of bread on his back. He's just, he's 5'4", he doesn't be 5'11", But anyway, enough of that.
I mean,
I'll get
go to the spot, let's figure this out.
Yeah, I'll get an appointment. In fact, I should probably call now to get it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll leave no time
Yeah.
to work on me.
Yeah.
Fixing the rest of the world.
Seriously.
Thanks for having this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pros and cons of that.
I don't think so.
Cons.
The lights off there.
Are there fake ones?
Yeah, like anything else. It. I don't know any cons.
Is that a respiratory? Is it a respiratory?
It's more like it's more ionization atmosphere. It's like it's more energy. It's less like all kinds of fun stuff. Plus you can shave it on your food. I was joking.
Oh! Now we don't leave you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But no, it's like, and it's a nice soft light, so it's like so bright, oftentimes we'll have people that they're just, you need a more chill environments to kind of turn these other lights off and just have a nice little, so ambiance is helpful, so it's useful for the light physics, it also uses off ionization with the salt. Yeah, there's a lot of there, that's kind of the tip of the iceberg on it, but they're useful, I like them. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna see all three of you at once, and that was come together?
Oh, no, keep it by the triple?
I don't know. I'm not sure we're gonna do Leslie.
Oh, Leslie might. You talk to Leslie.
Talk to Leslie. Yeah. But, I like to think, I mean, our hearts to help. They're going to do something so figure out what's going on. You need some nudge in the right direction. Yeah.
It's about to see.
Yeah, it's fun. We can do some
So
more.
in your house, listen, okay, you're gonna meet with my guys. So it's okay.
Okay, it's out there. Cool.
I listen to her.
All right.
Yeah. I'll see you around.
See you around.
Yeah. She's always calm. She's always in person too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Good. I have questions.
Sure, Kevin.
So I'll tell you, the first time I mentioned it on Facebook, I saw her legacy. It's one of my teams. It's called Legacy Team. So
Oh, really?
oh, is he with that team? Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have this for you. You can keep it until I come in for my
Okay.
appointment.
Is this like history and things?
Yeah,
I'll look for that. Sure.
it's everything that I just told them. They asked me, I'll be 82 in July, and so I'm grateful for the help that I have.
Yeah.
I've been doing natural supplements for the last 40 years.
Awesome.
So anyway, that's why I thought I always look for a sign for everyone. Okay, and I thought, let me see if I can maybe I'm supposed to go to this and see if it's on the same sheet.
Yeah.
So, that is a little long. I wanted to give you all the written information, and I guess it just means like, if you want to find the questions, fine, but otherwise. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, certainly.
Good luck, I'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow it is.
Very, very targeted. Just, I have no pain, everything else is good, I just.
Awesome. Use the new section.
Yeah, someone looks like you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
It takes long to get there, but it can happen.
Well, that very second. We'll give the tapeworm. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. It takes long to do something.
Definitely, yes, I'm
Yeah.
trying to help people identify. Yeah, I created a self-assessment, it says on Saturday, would you walk,
Yeah.
would you fresh air, sunlight, would you exercise, would you diet?
Nice.
And if they're at 5, like you are going to push them up to a 10.
Yeah.
Look, find the issue that's getting them, keeping them from doing what they want to do.
Yeah. Awesome. Love that.
So I want when they see me, I want them to say, hey, like me, like I'm saying. I want to
Yeah,
say, hey,
right.
I want to look like you.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have nothing to appreciate. I lost my spouse in July.
Mm.
June, August, it's just like happen sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate you for how hard it is to be honest with you. So it's nice.
Yeah.
And for a guy like me, I could have been pickleball 6 days a week and all that stuff, you know, hours and doing the warrior diet. And this, well, I'll tell you, I had a stroke in 2015. Big stroke. I had a head-on collision. When they said when they hit that, I struck my head. It was so close, fully covered. The lining, my cardiac cover was healing. And when the lining was healing, my clot went in no stroke. That's why I started practice. I spent caring since I was 17. I know that my physical in February, the August was the accident was in April. I went back for my results, and I said, Mr. Brown, the outreach is clean as a whistle. I know if I was in the case and had a lot of plaque and all that stuff, we wouldn't be here having this kind of conversation. So I'm trying to help more people just kind of realize nobody gets up thinking they're going to have a head-on collision, right? But it's best to have your physical and your condition that you're having.
Sure. Yeah, it sounds like that daily might be part of this whole puzzle too.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, I look forward to it. Yeah. Awesome. And I really appreciate you for your presentation.
Good, I'm glad that you're doing that.
I'll be a unique case for you because no pain, no
awesome.
It's just kind of really just self-improvement.
Yeah, love that. It's like part of your favorite. Because I would say your license.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm doing the work and happy to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was saying I've been praying about losing this weight, right? And I think the Lord told me today, hey, you think that you're getting up and going to the gym every day, and you're doing that because I'm really doing what needs to be done. I'm in the process. The process is good, right?
Yep.
The result is, I managed call centers for 30 years.
Wow.
And so I know that, hey, you can do all the right stuff and the results may not always be there, right? You just have to stick with the process.
Yeah.
Believe the process and stick with it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, look forward to seeing you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Take care.
You have a microphone in your house, correct?
I do.
Okay, cool. Just double check.
Yeah, I grabbed it this morning. Clearances all day.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Making sure I wasn't losing one.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh, the only thing I do need is this. I need to tell you. Using it with an old use.
Got it.
All right. Oh, and you know what? Let me give you this. This is paperwork to fill out before your visit. Okay? You can do that as best as possible and just bring it with you.
So you don't need like the lab?
If you have any labs that you just had done, bring those with you as well.
Then I just have the record.
Yeah. Whatever, yeah. Yep.
I researched into that, I'm not hungry now.
All right.
Work farms. Yeah.
you guys looking to schedule as well?
Yes.
Are you together?
She came to support me in next careers and she's my secretary. Oh, you're so. All right, thanks for being back. Take care. You too.
Are you better in morning or afternoon?
Yes, cool. There you go. Cool.
Probably gonna be out a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look at.
Sunshine.
I can do Thursday, May 1st. Alright, yeah, Thursday, May 1st. It would be 10:50. You would have to be. Well, you are with me. But Autumn, our other therapy girl, she'll do some back office testing with you, some balance tests, things like that, get as much information as you can. And then after her, you'll see Dr. Thompson. Alright, so let me, what is your first name?
Bonnie, UNMID,
And your last name?
Purpose, H1, KPS,
And yourself.
717-307-5712.
And your email.
Like it's Bonnie, 5@gmail.com.
Are you in for a spot?
I'm
Are you with her? Oh, awesome! Bye, everybody.